What's going on, everyone? It's Ryan Meeks with Escape to Arizona, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the new build market. We're going to look at the new build market across the entire United States, as well as focusing down in the Phoenix metro area. If it's your first time to my channel, thank you so much for checking it out. Feel free to subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're watching this on. I have a lot of cool videos on my channel, including some new build walkthroughs, as well as neighborhood walkthroughs, and also some market update videos. So trying to provide a lot of good content for you guys. And if you're watching this on certain platforms, I should have the chapters all below so you can skip around. If there's a certain section you want to replay or something that you just don't want to hear, feel free to skip around. And hey, if you're looking to purchase a new build in the Phoenix metro area, I am a real estate advisor, so please hire me. I'd be happy to do the legwork for you guys, find out what the incentives are, as well as, any video walkthroughs of the home or video walkthroughs of the neighborhood and community. I also do a lot of drone footage, and I'm happy, feel free, just text, email me, happy to put something together for you guys if you hire me. And P.S., there's no cost to using a realtor at these new build communities, and it definitely gives you a little bit of leverage. It's always nice to have a middleman in case you need to go to that new build salesperson and give them a piece of your mind. Because remember, they represent the builders. So rate check, Fed funds rate has fallen 75 basis points at the last meeting. And that's gonna affect things more like, credit cards and short-term things like auto loans. So we've actually seen that mortgage rates in the past week have fallen 37 basis points from about 5.65 to 5.28. And what I'm hearing from lenders is they can get anywhere from the high fours to low fives right now. So definitely already priced into the market in terms of that rate hike. Big thing on everybody's mind, inflation and GDP. Inflation's been between 6 and 9%. In Phoenix, it's been up to as high as 11%. That should be more like around 2%. And in terms of GDP, we've seen that. So we've fallen 1.6%, I believe, 1.6% in the first quarter and 0.9% here in the second quarter. Those figures were just released. So some may argue that we're in a recession, but now the definition sort of changed. So yeah, depending on whoever you follow, you might find a different answer for that. And what you'll keep hearing from new build and resale communities is this term pre-pandemic levels. We're returning to pre-pandemic levels. So when we're comparing 2019 to now in the Phoenix metro area, we're seeing that active average sales rate is actually not back to pre-pandemic levels. So we've gone below pre-pandemic levels in terms of the average sales rate. And we have if you look at this graph, those on the left have not returned to 2019 levels. And then those on the right, such as Tampa, which is going gangbusters still, currently is still higher than the pre-pandemic levels. So I guess you can say that we've come down past the pre-pandemic levels because Phoenix was up there selling a lot of homes in the past 2 years. And actually staff is going to probably be getting laid off from those 2020, 2021 years because some of these builders have overstaffed. And so what I'm predicting is, we'll see some layoffs happening here, maybe in the Phoenix metro area. So what we'll hopefully see happen with some of the builders on the labor side of things is that, there'll be less to build, and therefore the labor shortage will sort of dissipate a bit. A lot of the figures I get are from Zonda.com. They are approaching builders and asking these questions, getting a lot of data from new builders and new build communities. And one of the questions they asked is, how have cancellations changed from the previous month? And they've asked this over the course of 2021 and 2022. And it used to be before February, March that there was no change. But now what we're seeing is that cancellations are increasing. And why are some of these cancellations increasing? And you can see in June, they said about 55% said cancellations were increasing. That has come down between June and July. But obviously there's been some qualification issues. There's been uncertainty in the market, and then there's been resale market that has been picking up. So with qualification issues, obviously interest rates are rising. Less people are able to qualify for these homes because their debt to income ratio is not going to be where it needs to be. Uncertainty in the market, well, people just aren't sure if the market's going to crash or, with rates rising, if home values are that's going to affect home values. So a lot of people are just pulling out of these homes. And I, recently got an email from somebody who's purchased a home in Morrison Ranch back in September of 2021, asking me what he thinks the market is going to do. Was this a good purchase? So he's had a full year of appreciation and he's still unsure of whether he should purchase this home. I told him, go ahead, go with it. In my opinion, you're going to be fine. I think a year worth of appreciation and, granted his payment's going to be a lot higher than it was originally planned, but definitely going to have some equity in that home when he moves in it. Worst case scenario, turn around, put it on the market and sell it, right? And then of course we've seen the resale market, which is also picking up. So this just provides another options for those who went into a new home because they couldn't get a resale home. So now maybe they want to be in a certain community, they see a home pops up and they're willing to forego that $5,000 or $10,000 they put down as an earnest deposit at that new build community, and they're willing to go and purchase in the resale market. I've also seen where some builders are actually letting people out, and that happened with one of my clients who's hopefully supposed to close in August here, but we're going on, I think, 16 months with his home being built. And if you go to them and say, hey, let me out of this, they will happily let you out of that home. They'll have 16 months of appreciation. They'll turn around and sell that home. And that leads me to the next question, which Zonda has asked these builders, and that is, do you think you could actually resell these homes? So 13% of builders are saying, yeah, we can definitely resell. 40% are saying we probably wouldn't have a problem selling that home. And then 47% are saying, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to sell that home if it falls out. Something a lot of people keep calling me about, and that is what builders are offering, what incentives. I've been getting a slew of emails, and I'll go through those in the next couple slides here with you guys. But definitely incentives are increasing, but they're not increasing without being tied to a lender here in the Phoenix metropolitan area. So a builder's not just going to give you, money and say, here, take this. It's going to be tied to using their lender. I always recommend people to get another lender, so have at least two lenders that are competing with each other. You can send each other their fee sheets and always try to get the best deal, because you don't know unless you go to another lender whether or not you're, number one, getting a good deal, and number two, not paying an absurd amount of closing costs. Because what I've noticed with some of these builders' lenders is that they're giving you these incentives for a reason. So something to keep in mind when you're searching for a new build. And I have some great lenders that I work with that will be able to probably beat what you're getting in incentives right now from these new build lenders. So be sure to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you guys point you in the right direction for that. And if you look at the Phoenix market here, this is the first set on the left here in terms of the figures. They're really offering no incentives. And then once you move a little bit closer over to the right, to the middle of this, closing costs with their preferred lender, on average about $7,000. And 30% of these projects are closing with incentives using the builder's lender. So, you're gonna have to get pre-qualified with them anyways. So it's something just to give the lender a little bit of that feeling of euphoria that, hey, this person is qualified, they used my lender. Although, you know what, I've seen people fall out of contract with the builder's lenders. So I don't know why they do that. It's just another hurdle. So definitely get more than one opinion when you're going through. Use one more lender, have them compete against each other. Now, what type of incentives am I being emailed? Well, it's funny because you wouldn't see these incentives unless you went to the new build community. All of a sudden now they're sending over these incentives. So some of them are doing rate locks on quick move-in homes. So you can lock in, if you close by October 31st with Toll Brothers, you can lock in high fours, low fives. So that'll be a guaranteed rate lock for you, and that is free if you're purchasing one of their homes. But once again, a quick move-in home, not one from the ground up. And Pulte is gonna be willing to do a rate buy down for you. So if you see here over the 3 years, your rate's going to start low and kind of increase, and the plan would be that you could then refinance if rates got a little bit lower. So that's what Pulte is doing. David Weekley, Lancey, and Pulte, I emailed all of them, said, hey, what incentives are you guys offering? This was last week. David Weekley, the representative there, said, hey, we're still not, we're not adjusting to the market much. They have 1% towards closing costs with their preferred lender, and our homes under construction have a $10,000 discount you can use for whatever you want. So She thinks that the fall is going to provide a surge in sales. And what she's seeing with David Weekley is that the $1 million plus market isn't really being affected by what's going on with rates. So that's kind of interesting and something to keep in mind here in the Phoenix metro area. Land C, up to 5% of the base sale price on select homes, and then up to $15,000 on everything else. Once again, tied to using Land C mortgage, which probably isn't going to give you the best deal. Pulte, 3% of the base price towards closing costs with Pulte mortgage. Options to buy down and lock in the rates, which you saw in that previous slide. And up to over $30,000 in incentives. So everything's going to be tied to using their lender. So nothing that they're really offering straight up unless you use their lender. Same thing with Taylor Morrison. Got this fuzzy email today. They're willing to do a permanent buy down or a temporary buy down basically. And of course, if you look at the fine print underneath, they're not going to buy down your rate if you're using a different lender. They're only going to buy down your rate if you're using Taylor Morrison. I think it's Taylor Morrison Mortgage. And of course, you have to close before January 2023. Only good for quick move-ins. So all tied to using lenders here in Phoenix still. And quick move-in homes. So Phoenix, just an interesting little chart here. Nationally, we're still not at the 2019 levels as far as the high for the quick move-in homes, roughly about 22,000, let's say. Nationally right now, we're at about 20,000 homes, quick move-in homes. And if we look at the Phoenix market, 998, so just under 1,000. Last year, we had 166. And 2019, kind of at those levels, we've surpassed the 2019 levels in terms of quick move-in homes. So we are past those pre-pandemic levels in terms of supply. And one question Zonda asked all the builders is, do you plan on slowing what's called starts? Starts are new construction, getting new permits, things like that. And about 32% said yes significantly, about 55% said yes slightly, and about 13% said no. So 87% of builders across the nation are going to be slowing their starts, which only makes sense, right? Still having industry challenge with new builds, government services, supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and land disruptions. So all these issues sort of are still there, according to builders. They're not going anywhere. It doesn't look like anytime soon. So you'll still see that these challenges of building a home with, having inflation and high interest rates, it's going to be a real challenge overall for builders here. And what inputs are impacting cycle times most severely? Well, lumber just goes from being number one to not even an issue now. And what we're seeing is windows, doors, HVAC, and appliances are the biggest problems that builders are seeing. And I'm hearing a lot of issues with windows being delivered for sure. So that seems to be the top problem across the valley as well. Units under construction by metro here. So you could see Phoenix in 2006, 31,987 units supplied. And right now we're at 19,542. And what you can see is we've had a 36% increase in population from 2006. So, supply's fallen 40%. And population has risen 36%. So I think we're still in pretty good shape here in terms of supplying homes for people, probably still overall a little undersupplied, which leads me to my next slide and final slide here, which talks about the build to rent market. And what you'll notice in the build to rent market is that Phoenix seems to be number one here. So 7,000 units between 2015 and 2021. And then we're up to about 10,000 units that are going to be completed between 2022 and 2023. And you're seeing these, I call them mega apartments, going up everywhere in the Phoenix metro area. And they're just going gangbusters with these things. So eventually these people are going to get sick of paying, $2,000, $2,500 for a one bedroom, being squeezed in with paper thin walls with neighbors that have a 32-year-old man living there that stays up till 2 a.m. playing video games and smoking pot all day. So they're going to get real sick of that and want to purchase a home. So that they're trying to alleviate the supplies issues right now with these build to rent markets. So I think eventually these people are all going to be, moving on. So Hey, that's my market update. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll hopefully see you on the next one.